There comes a point in every person's life, quiet, private moments, when the soul whispers, "Is anyone truly for me?" Maybe you felt that. You've given your best, fought your hardest, loved with everything you had, and still, you were misunderstood. You were left out. You were betrayed. The world kept spinning while your heart paused to gather the broken pieces of a story you didn't expect to be living. And in that silence, you began to question if your life even matters to God. If He even sees you in this mess. You smiled for others, but on the inside you whispered, "God, where are you?" If that's where you are today, I need you to hear this truth. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are not unloved. In fact, not only are you loved, you are encircled by divine fire. The God of heaven hasn't just given you a word. He's given you His presence. Not from a distance, not through a wall, but up close, closer than your own breath. He surrounds you with a holy fire that scatters the forces of darkness. Yes, even the invisible ones that try to torment your mind at night. That anxiety that presses on your chest before sleep. That lingering shame that keeps replaying your old mistakes. That heaviness that tells you nothing will ever change. Those lies cannot stand where God's fire burns. His light shines brighter than the sun at midday, and no evil, no attack, no hidden fear can stay where His eternal glory abounds. When your soul cries out in the darkest hour, the fire of His presence replies louder, "You are mine. I am here. I am fighting for you." So breathe. Take a deep breath, not just for your lungs, but for your spirit. Inhale this truth. You are not alone in your struggle. You are not alone in your heartbreak. You are covered. You are defended. His fire does more than warm. It shields. It protects. Even when life looks chaotic on the outside, you are encircled with a divine force that the enemy cannot penetrate. This isn't just poetic, it's spiritual reality. If you only knew what God was keeping away from your life, you'd be overwhelmed with gratitude. If you could see the battles He's fighting for you even now, battles you didn't know existed, you'd never again feel forsaken. But maybe you say, "It all sounds good, but I've messed up too much." You carry failures like chains, and even when grace is offered, you hesitate to receive it because you think you've disqualified yourself. But I need you to hear me clearly. Your scars are not your shame. They are the places where God wants to prove His love. God doesn't approach you with a pointed finger. He comes with open arms. He's not watching with anger. He's weeping with compassion. He doesn't stand before you wearing a robe of indignation. He's clothed in mercy and grace. If He had wanted to punish you, He would have done it long ago. But He didn't. Because His desire has never been destruction. It has always been restoration. He says, "Let me lift you from the dust. Let me clean you with my perfect forgiveness." You may have fallen, but He's not calling you a failure. He's calling you His child. He doesn't want you groveling in shame or stuck in regret. He wants you to rise again, restored, healed, and bold. This is not the end of your story. You don't need to keep punishing yourself for what God has already forgiven. You don't have to carry that guilt any longer. In fact, you were never built to carry it. That's why it's so heavy. You were built for freedom, for purpose, for a destiny that still waits for you. And here's the miracle. You were chosen by name, long before you even thought about seeking Him. Before you ever prayed your first prayer, He already had a plan for you. Before you ever made your first mistake, He had already written the redemption. From the day you were born, He's been speaking, sometimes through whispers, sometimes through storms, sometimes through silence, but always with one message: I love you. I chose you. You are mine. He hasn't changed His mind about you, even when you drifted, even when you were tired of trying, even when you said, "God, I can't feel you anymore." He stayed. He formed you with purpose. He didn't create you by accident. He formed you with intention. You are not a product of chance or of human decision. You are the result of divine design. Everything about you, your personality, your heart, your voice, your dreams, was handcrafted by the Creator. And even if you walked away, He's still waiting. He hasn't closed the door. He hasn't revoked the invitation. And He never will. Because you're not just a project to Him. You're a beloved child, a child he encircles, forgives, and calls by name. So what do you do now? You believe again. You breathe again. You receive again. Let today be the day you stop defining your life by your pain, your shame, or your past. Let today be the day you open your heart and say, God, I'm ready to be encircled. I'm ready to be restored. I'm ready to walk in who you say I am. Because the truth is, He hasn't given up on you. He hasn't let go. And no matter how far you've run, He's still right here, arms open, fire burning, whispering your name through the chaos. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too far gone. You are not a mistake. You are loved, forgiven, and called. Let that be your beginning. You see, the healing God offers isn't just surface deep. It isn't just a patch on the pain or a quick word to distract your sorrow. No, His healing goes down into the bones, into the places where the wound was first formed. Maybe life has made you hard. Maybe you've learned to smile while bleeding on the inside. Maybe you've buried your real self so deep that not even your closest friends know how broken you felt at times. But here's the truth. God doesn't just want to fix your behavior. He wants to heal your heart. There's a place inside you that only God can reach. Not a pastor, not a friend, not even the most perfect love story can touch that place. Only the one who created you can reach that sacred space. And when He does, it won't be with condemnation. It will be with kindness that disarms your fear, with compassion that washes the stains even you couldn't explain. He doesn't need you to be strong for Him. He wants you to be honest with Him, to say, God, I don't have it all together. I'm scared. I'm tired. I need you. And when you do, you'll discover that His love is not afraid of your brokenness. He's drawn to it. He meets you there, not with lectures, but with healing hands. And slowly, quietly, deeply, He begins to soften what was once stone and turn it back into flesh. But to experience that kind of transformation, there's one thing we must do. We must surrender, fully, without conditions. God can only fill what we're willing to empty. He can only heal what we're willing to hand over. And that's not easy. We like control. We like knowing the outcomes. We like protecting ourselves from disappointment. But God doesn't work within the boxes we build. He asks us to step out in faith, real faith. Faith that risks looking foolish. Faith that trusts even when prayers go unanswered. Faith that says, even if nothing changes around me, I will trust the one who never changes within me. Surrender isn't defeat. It's the path to real strength. It's when we lay our plans, our pain, and even our pride at the feet of Jesus and say, not my will, but yours. It's when we stop trying to impress God and start depending on Him. That's when the real miracle begins. Not when you get everything you want, but when you realize that having Him is everything you need. In the moment of surrender, we stop striving to earn love and start living from love. It's the moment you let go, and He takes over. And I promise you, what He writes with your surrendered life will be more beautiful than anything you could have scripted for yourself. And finally, if you've ever doubted whether your pain had purpose, hear this. God redeems what the enemy tried to destroy. He doesn't just rescue you, He restores you. He takes the shattered pieces of your past, the abuse, the rejection, the shame, and He doesn't just cover them. He turns them into gold. The enemy thought your brokenness would disqualify you, but God says, I will use it to anoint you. What was meant to bury, you will become the very soil from which your purpose grows. Your wounds will become your witness. Your sorrow will turn into songs. Your scars will become signs of resurrection power. Nothing is wasted in God's hands, not even your darkest chapter. In fact, those chapters are often the ones He highlights the most. Why? Because when others see the depth of your brokenness and the height of your healing, they won't praise you. They'll glorify Him. They'll see your life and know, only God could have done that. And that's the point. Your life is a story of divine redemption. Every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered in the dark, every setback, every fall, it was never the end. It was preparation. You are living proof that God still brings beauty from ashes, strength from weakness, and glory from ruin. So stand tall, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. The one who encircled you with fire, forgave your worst sins, called you by name, softened your heart, carried your pain, purified your prayers, and turned your brokenness into a testimony that God is not finished with you. He never was, and He never will be. You are a walking miracle. You are evidence that God is still writing powerful stories, and the best pages of your life are still ahead.